Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and this is, I guess, technically the last until I see the very new of the Rambo series. I am talking about Rambo. Can you see that? Yeah, there it is. Rambo is a 2008 film that was co-written and directed by Sylvester Stallone himself, and I know he co-wrote 2 and 3 at least, but whenever I see that Stallone is directing one of his own movies, I always get nervous. I always get trepidatious. And I'm not even saying because he's a bad director. I guess it's just the stigma that I have on this guy is that, man, how good can it be if Stallone had to step in there and do it himself? Although he is very hands-on, he does feel like he's one of the few and only people who can take care of a character like Rambo. He must appreciate it very well. Up to date, we see that Stallone, once again playing John Rambo, he is living in Thai. He's very much retired from being a soldier and getting involved in military craziness until he gets asked to guide this group of people who all they want to do is give medical aid to this families and people out there. But of course, it's not that simple. Of course, they get hijacked. Of course, they get taken and captured. And of course, Rambo has to come in there, come out of retirement, and kick some ass! Just like he can and knows best. Now, what I think of Rambo is this movie was pretty good. I mean, it was a lot of action. It was very fast-paced. I was not bored sitting here and watching this movie. Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's very much the plot of Rambo 3, where he's away, he's retired, he's living his life, he wants nothing to do with being a soldier, and then he gets forced back in. Just when you thought he was out, he gets pulled back in. So, in that respects, maybe you could say that it's not that original or it's just repeating the same beats that you've seen from this character before. But there's something about him being much older now, although Stallone looks great. He's probably in his 50s at this point when this movie came out, and he's still in shape. He still looks like he can pull off a lot of the action stuff that you see him doing here. But there's something about him being so much older that makes you buy it more that he's done, makes you believe that, yeah, he really doesn't want anything to do with that type of life, and so I think it just makes more sense. Troutman, the colonel, usually he would have been here maybe to recruit him, but the actor passed away in 2003. This movie is dedicated to him. So instead, you have this character, Sarah Miller, played by Julie Benz, and she almost represents that same figure. Not in the sense of, I think Rambo has a thing for her romantically, and she has her own significant other, so I guess that complicates things a little bit. But she represents that person who wants him to do what's right, do what's better for the people in this country, and save as many lives as he can. And this movie does a good job, if nothing else. It does a good job in making you hate these asshole people who are killing and raping and then killing kids. They do some dastardly evil things, and it makes you say, yeah, Rambo, I want you to kill each and every single one of these people slowly, surely, and bloodily. And he does that. He does just that. There is so much blood and gore when it comes to the kills in this movie. I know that some of it's CGI, and yeah, some of that's a little obvious, but still they make up for it with almost the quantity of blood, how much blood there is in all of these kills and explosions and people just getting shot up. I mean, there is a scene where Stallone goes full-blown, just not giving an F. He takes this, I don't even know what you call those. They're not machine guns. I mean, they're connected to a device, and he just goes boom, 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 and it's tearing people's limbs apart. It's cutting people in half. Just the bullets alone themselves are cutting people in half. Of course, he has his knives, where he's cutting heads off, and there's scenes where he's grabbing guys by the neck and ripping their necks apart, breaking necks. I mean, this is brutal. Brutal. I mean, if this was originally intended to be the last Rambo, I could see why they decided to go all out, why they decided to put everything they had in this type of film. I guess the only complaint, if I had to say one, is that there's not much of a character arc for Rambo. Not since probably the first two movies has he gone through a change in any of these films. He is still the same guy who doesn't want to be a part of this life, but is still so good at it and always comes back to it. And you wonder, what does that do to a guy who is so good at killing, who can kill in so many brutal, vicious, and ugly ways? This guy should be in an insane asylum, if we're being completely honest. Rambo is a character that can be a lot more interesting, can be a lot more layered, and you can have more deep stuff going on with him. I think First Blood did a good job at showing some of that, but we haven't really done that since. Maybe that's just a small nitpick, though, because I'm sure people, Rambo fans, I'm sure they enjoyed this installment. If you want the bloody action, if you want the crazy gore, if you want Stallone just doing what he does best with bows and arrows and guns and bullets and being in the jungle and setting up traps. And you could also argue that the villains are sort of just faceless people in this village or in this area where they're going around and they're doing messed up things, but you don't get a sense of like, okay, there's the leader, like here's the face of a character that we're dealing with. No, it's a generic group of soldiers that Stallone can easily take out by himself. I do like that we have a team this time around that Stallone has to work with, doesn't always get along with, but they are some capable characters in their own right. So guys, yes, this is one of the better Rambo sequels. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the fourth installment? Do you like it as well? Is it your favorite? Is it too bloody? Is it too crazy? Too over the top? Is it just what you wanted? Thanks for watching. What's your favorite Rambo movie now that we're nearing the end of my watch along? Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Hustle legit, pop a big bit, separate it, shot it for profit. Hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit.